So welcome to Getec Quick View. Here you have a view of the site, and you can select assessment plates by clicking on them and pressing View Graph. Scales can be changed dynamically. And there's a facility for averaging if required. If you're looking at data in real time, you can also use the auto refresh button, where you can have data streaming in every minute or 2 minutes, depending on what's required. You can zoom in on the graph by using the spreader bars. You can also change the colours of the timelines to suit your requirements. There's also a print facility and an export facility too. You can start and stop sections of the data just by selecting the date box. If you notice, when you select the settlement plates within the green box, which represents the height of the embankment that's been filled. So provided the settlement box with a name, in this case I've just used lift 1, and then the start date, but also on the finish date put it a year ahead of schedule, because otherwise as this is a dynamic process, it will disappear if you keep it in the same year. So the idea is we need to add to the height of this embankment box for us to be able to represent the data along with height. So here we put the date. The time is not really relevant, but it can be, and then we put in the height of 0.25 of a meter, and then we've added a new height. I put 0.5 of a meter, so you can see here on the drop down you've got the Z value, which is increasing with the date. And as the embankment is built up, then you need to add this data manually as such, and this will provide the profile of the embankment or the fill area been placed. So once you have that, press apply, and then if you just press view graph, you'll see the data on the top graph, and then you'll see the height of the embankment over time on the lower graph. And again, you can use the same facilities for zooming in and out. As the filling continues on the site, this shows you how to do it. So you go to edit, select, and then you draw the box with your mouse, and then the start date, and then don't forget to change the end date and put it towards 2018, or if it's going to be longer, 2020. And as I showed you before, you just then add the date in which the filling occurs, and then the height, again in meters from ground level, so this will show the height increase on the graphs. Press apply, and then if we select the sensors in section 2 of the fill, then you'll see obviously the date has changed because we set it off with a different date. But then if we select other ones in the trench 4 area, we'll be able to see the complete timeline of the excavation. Although with the bar fill it will become slightly different, but you can change the colours. And this will give you an overview of the 9 or 12 settlement cells as they're all installed and the different heights at which have been excavated at. Using the journal feature, you just click on the top and then the drop down will appear, and then you can add site incidents that occur which directly are related to the data, and this just gives an overview. Even if there's alarms set to the values, then these will be published as well. So make sure you have the right date when you want to put if you're backtracking, you can put the old date in and whatever happened. But generally it just works on a complete date basis. You can delete journal entries very easily, and then using your mouse button, center button, you can zoom in and scroll. And for example, if you wanted to add a rigid inclusion column as a part of the site journal or site management tool, it's a very easy process. You just add a section, and usually it's a cuboid on 2D, and then click off that button, and then just put the pile number and then the start date, and again change the finish date to something in the future so it doesn't disappear, because you want again to keep the dynamic. So that's, and you can change the colors to represent a stone column, and then go through the process for the second pile. Again, that's showing it on a daily basis, but you could show that on an hourly and you'd still get a dynamic view of what's happening on site. So here you can change the colour to represent a concrete pile. And then if you scroll back to the 16th, then the pile appears, and then the next day the second pile appears. So if you have enough of these, you'll get a full view of what location has been piled at what time. Using the 3D view, you can do exactly the same as I showed you in the 2D view for the embankment heights. And again, it's just generally using the drop down box here to add the height or increase the height. And again, as you play back through the dates, you'll see the diary entries coming up, but also you see the height of the embankment being built. And similarly, you can use this for pile records in 3D as well. If you want to add another section to the works, follow the path on the dashboard, and then you can use your arrows keys, which is page down and page up and home and end, to make the area in which you want to work on. The plus and the minus give you the height and depth. Generally here we're working above 0. And then once you get the right height, you press apply. And then you can put in the name of the section, the minimum height, maximum height, and then continue as shown before.